Hello, my name is Chad Cheney, and I will be speaking on the topic of tourism and disaster, specifically how it affects the Central Florida area. Being born and raised in Orlando and working in law enforcement for the past 20 years, either working in South Florida and Central Florida, I understand how important the tourism industry is to the state of Florida. Popular tourism spots is Walt Disney, World Universal International Drive corridor, which is big for conventions, and it's starting to get a lot more amusement rides. You have the water parks, you have shopping outlets, you also have beaches. Central Florida sits between both East and West Coast. You can get there within 1 to 2 hours from Orlando area. On average, Florida has about 125 million visitors each year, and you have about 75 million alone to the Orlando area, which makes it the most visited place in the United States. That's like having two Super Bowls a day in the area. Florida also has the third biggest state in population. It's the fourth largest economy. Disney World alone employs 80,000 people. That employs more people in a single location than any other company in the world. They just laid off about 9,000 due to COVID, but they're still employed more than any other company. Also, Orlando is also the number two in the world for most hotels and restaurants, only behind Las Vegas. So you can imagine how much money is brought in from the tourism industry. The state of Florida, it's no stranger to disasters. It's routinely hit with hurricanes. 2004 was a kind of a different year, very unusual. You had four hurricanes within a matter of 6 weeks impacted the state of Florida. The whole state was covered. You had Charlie, you had Francis, Gene, and Ivan all made impacts in the state. Normally people evacuate to Central Florida because the winds being so far in, they're protected from the winds and the flooding. However, Charlie did so much damage along the I-4 corridor. You had 90-mile-an-hour winds sustained for a long periods of time. So it had a lot of impacts in the Central Florida area, specifically around the tourism area. Anything that happens to our tourism industry impacts the state of Florida in a huge way. The parks aren't really impacted as much, but the people in the service industry, Uber drivers, people living paycheck to paycheck who are affected the most. They're the ones that have to work. The parks won't shut down. They very rarely shut down. Either do the restaurants and either do the hotels. So people are having to work and they stop to worry about their own houses being destroyed, their families trying to get supplies. So all those people that are employed in that industry are impacted the most, I would say. From a public safety perspective, Central Florida is normally, like I said, normally the place where everybody evacuates to. So we have a big influx of people coming inland from to protect themselves from the winds. So in a short period of time, you have a population increase. It puts a lot of strains on law enforcement and fire services. As the calls for service they increase, the traffic increases, the crimes opportunity increase. Public service total forces are directly related to the living population, so they're not related to the tourism population. So you can see how stretched the resources are, having to take care of that many people in that small area. After the 2004 hurricanes, emergency officials they really began to work hand in hand with the tourism officials to respond to the disasters. They began to plan together. They opened the lines of communication, and they've seen what both industries could do to lessen the impacts from the storm. They routinely depend on each other for other resources and are a significant part of the planning process. The future of the tourism industry and economy depends on how well everyone works together and does their part. They understand their importance, specifically the economic importance of the tourism in the